Hello, I'm Ana Maria Davalos, Senior Consultant at Mechanic Global. Since we have been talking about leadership competencies, I want to start with the power of positivism. The power of positive thinking. Having a positive work culture definitely reflects positively on employee retention and financial goals of your company. A positive way of thinking and a positive company culture definitely elevates employee enthusiasm and encourages better productivity, and in the end leads to a better company performance. This is why the main reason that creating a positive company culture really matters. It's always easier to follow someone with a positive outlook than a negative one. It's easy to overlook the subtle everyday chemistry that constitutes effective leadership. How often we forget the simple truth that a successful leader has nothing to do with individual intelligence or performance, but everything to do with accomplishing work through others and getting your people to want to do their best for you. Day after day, month after month, and year after year. Toward this end, the everyday cast of your personality, your attitude, your optimism, your personal or general mindset is invariable a managerial difference maker. People are definitely drawn to positivity. No one wants to take a long ride on a sinking ship. Forget it. Being happy, positive, having happy, positive employees are more engaged in their work and they're engaged. And once they're engaged, a business can make a lot more profit per employee. On the other hand, in a work environment defined through negativity, this is impossible. Since negativity causes employee disengagement, high levels of stress, and as an outcome, low productivity. As a consultants, we have seen this for more than 20 years in our consultant work with the Bergman method. We have seen how stress has been leading to negativity and definitely low productivity. In my work with leaders, I've noticed that many of them lead in every area except their thoughts. Their minds are often filled with thoughts of failure, inadequacy, and disbelief. Can you imagine if we could change that thought pattern? How the company's culture would change? Well, our thoughts are under attack, and learning how to use adversity to accelerate growth is the key to developing and protecting new levels of confidence. It's human nature to take the path of least resistance, but unfortunately, by taking that path, we learn and evolve very, very little. Adversity, in this case, has a way of defeating us and making us feel used up. But somewhere inside, if we go into the deep dive of the same way we've been talking in Mikani, we will be able to make sense of our difficulties and switch them to make them count for something positive. That all that pain we endured wasn't for nothing. But how? Okay, let's start with one thing. Change your mindset. First thing first, stop being a victim. Stop asking why this happened to you. Start asking yourself, how did you contribute to make this negative event happen? The first step is replacing the what happened for the why did it happen. Can you see the difference? Again, as I always talk, cause and effect. This definitely helps you to stop blaming. Well, there's a lot of exercises for this you will see later with Kirsten, but first of all will be self-compassion. This is based on repetitive responses to stimuli. Neural pathways are created in our brain and can become automatic responses or habits. To create a new habit, A new pathway needs to be created through repetition. Change your wording. For example, stop saying the word difficult. Change it for challenge. It's a challenge to perform that task. See the difference? As we create this new habit, we may stumble, but instead of giving up, we can choose to treat ourselves with compassion, understanding that in time we'll have created a new habit. Trade them. When a negative thought comes upon you, replace it with a positive, helpful idea. As a leader, challenge your thinking by establishing a success ratio for your thoughts. Imagine how your influence over others and yourself could change if you just change your thinking from negative to positive. If we study Thomas Edison, who is recognized as one of the most creative and innovative thinkers of his age, is believed to have once said 5% of the people think, 10% of the people think they think, and the other 85% would rather die than think. Every leader likely spends time thinking, but many spend too much time thinking about worries and fears. And fear definitely reinforces negative thinking. Here are 4 common thought distortions that can lead to negativity. First of all, black and white thinking. Seeing everything as one way or another without that in between. Personalizing, assuming you are to blame for anything that goes wrong, like thinking someone did not smile at you because you did something to upset her. It's more likely that that person was having a hard day and her mood had nothing to do with you. But what kind of filter are you using? This is very important. Filter thinking. What does this mean? Choosing to see only the negative side of the situation. We always do that. It's kind of but different than catastrophizing. This is assuming always the worst possible outcome is going to happen. Other negative thinking patterns can include jumping to the worst conclusion, assuming, and overgeneralization. Imagine you set this one goal. I want our team to stop verbalizing their negative thoughts. How would the culture in your company change, especially in COVID? Think about it. Science tells us that the human mind is hardwired for negativity. Psychologists referred to this as negative or negativity bias, and it deeply affects our behavior, decision making, and how team members relate with one another. Another biological fact is language. This is the strongest purveyor of negativity. When you think negative thoughts, it affects your mind. But when you verbalize those negative thoughts, they linger far longer and have an even more profound impact on your psyche. Negative thinking patterns differ in subtle ways, but they all involve distortions of reality and irrational ways of looking at situations and people. But what can we do? Can we stop them? Well, Kirsten will continue in our next chapter. Have a nice week. Thank you.